people never achieve their goals, especially in business, even if they have the skills, they're capable, they have resources, they logically and on paper should be able to make whatever they want happen. But there's a disconnect. And I've found, and this is just what I've seen it be about the fear of X. Right. Usually it's the fear of failure. It might be the fear of embarrassment, the fear of what if this doesn't work out? What if somebody leaves a negative comment on one of my videos? And that usually leads to self doubt, and then self doubt leads to inaction, right? That's the person that has the $1 million business idea, or they're really smart and they want to do something, but the inaction is from the self doubt. I can't do this and that. And that comes from the fear of failure, the fear of X or Y or Z. Now, how have I gotten over that? Because, of course, I used to be scared of doing a video like this. It would take me literally 3 hours to make a video that's 3 minutes long and not that good, right? Or even public speaking. I've spoken in front of, again, like seminars with a ton of people with not a lot of preparation, not a lot of sleep, and I would get it done and it would be amazing nowadays. But when I first started, I had so much fear. And I think it was the fear, yes, of failure. Like, what if I mess up? What if this? What if that? But I think that's also derived from not putting in the work. Like at this point, I could do a seminar in front of 5,000 people online or in person. It doesn't matter. Again, with little preparation, I could be on a red eye and I'm confident that I can do it, not just out of pure positive thinking, like, oh yeah, I'm great. Things are going to work out magically. It's like, no, it's because I've put in the work consistently. I've done webinars with 5 people, or I've done presentations with 10 people that showed up and half didn't even know who I was and the other half were bored, right? So for me, that's what I would recommend for anybody watching this video. There's two things that you want to think about with that. Number one, I made the mistakes, and yes, I had some embarrassment and things like that, but I did it when the stakes were incredibly low. If 5 people don't like my webinar or my presentation or whatever, it's not a big deal. The stakes are so tiny, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But now the stakes are high, and I'm confident I'm ready because I've done the work and I've been consistent. And that's why I don't have the fear or the self doubt at this point in my business. So, how that relates to you and how that can help you is you have to ask yourself, okay, I have the fear of failure that comes from self doubt, or that leads to self doubt. That self doubt leads to me not putting in the work or not taking action. You have to then reverse engineer and think, okay, if I just start doing the work, if I start with a video a day, or if I start working out, or whatever your end goal is, whatever you're trying to achieve, you have to start with what can I control? What can I do? It doesn't take money. It doesn't even take a lot of time. What can I control with my willpower to say, you know what? Like even I'll show you here. I started doing this a few days ago every morning. It's technically like a plunge pool, but in the morning on the beach, it's freezing. It's like, I don't know, 60 degrees or 50 degrees. It's not freezing like an actual cold plunge, but with the wind outside, it's super cold. So I've started doing the cold plunge where every morning, even if I'm kind of looking forward to it, or this morning I wasn't looking forward to it. I was almost contemplating, man, I should really skip a day. Like I should give myself some grace. But I said, you know what? That's an excuse. This is in my control. I want to improve my morning routine. I want to have more energy in the morning. So I'm going to do the cold plunge. I'm going to just do it. And that's what I can control. Right. So again, that doesn't have to be what you're doing, but I'm saying to start removing the self doubt, you have to start doing the thing that you're scared of, but do it in private. If you're scared of making videos or scared of sales or whatever you have the fear of, start doing it in private or in a small scale where the stakes are low. And then it'll just be a little bit of a step up, right? Like, hey, I'm doing this presentation. Let me do it with my friends and family, right? That's what I learned in Toastmasters. If you were scared or nervous, do the presentation on Zoom or in person with your family watching so that they can give you feedback. And again, if you mess up, there's no side effect, there's no stakes involved. So again, with whatever you're doing, think about what can I control? What is the action that I can start taking so that that'll build up that muscle so that removes the self-doubt. And then the fear over time becomes, okay, well, I've already embarrassed myself. I've already failed, quote unquote, but I'm still doing it. So what am I scared of? So in my experience, again, you might be different. That's how I got rid of my fear of failure and self-doubt. Is I just started taking action, baby steps, little by little, to where then, again, if you reverse engineer, that gets rid of the self-doubt over time. Because in my mind, I know I've done the work. There's nothing to be doubtful of. I know my abilities, I know my strengths, and I know my weaknesses. So then I have nothing to be fearful of. I have nothing to be scared of. Like yesterday, I did a podcast with Pastor Troy Gramling. He has a church in South Florida, 20,000 members. I mean, he's a leader for me. He's a mentor. I've known him since I was 12 years old. Of course, the first time I did his podcast, I was a little nervous, right? But I'd already done so many podcasts and, media that I got it done and it was a great time. I got invited back onto the podcast yesterday and I did, I think, an even better job because I've been continuously doing the work and I had nothing to be scared of and I'd already been there. I'd already done that. But it doesn't have to be at that stake for you. Maybe you're just scared of making that first cold call or cold email or making the video or putting your business out there for the first time to your friends and family. But start with maybe one friend, right? Start with your aunt who's a little nice and maybe she'll give you some good feedback. Start slowly but surely. Don't just say, you know what, I'm going to dive head first and I'm going to make this happen. Maybe for some people that works. For me and all the clients I've worked with, from my experience, the best way to do it is take action bit by bit, slowly but surely. You'll start to say, okay, well, I have more confidence because I've done the work necessary. And so I'm confident. I know what I can do. I know what I need to work at, but I know what I can do. So then what am I scared of? What am I fearful of? And that starts to remove that over time. It's not going to happen overnight. I've been doing this, like making videos and communicating for, I mean, almost a decade at this point, never stopping, always consistent. Just recently, I'm getting to that point of having almost zero fears, zero self doubt. And it's going to be a lifelong journey as well. Think about public speaking. It is a deathly and deadly fear for a majority of Americans. If you look at the stats, it's at least over 50% of people they would rather die. They're fearful of public speaking to that extent. If you can lower that from I'm that scared to okay, I'm a little hyped up. I mean I'm a little nervous, but I know I'm gonna get it done because I've done it 1,000 times. That difference is really the balance of why a lot of people are very, very successful, not just in public speaking, but in anything, versus most people who let the fear control their actions. It causes a self-doubt and they never even put that first step forward to say, you know what, I can do this. Let me just try. Let me figure it out. This is my experience. If you have any questions or even if you have other thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the comments. But thanks so much for watching this video. And I appreciate you following the channel. Like and subscribe below and have a great day. Thank you.